near the end of my third day of walking and running across part of southern Morocco. Right now I'm lost here in the sand dunes of the Sahara. I don't see anybody for miles around.
But I'm not alone. There are some 350 others with me who have taken on the challenge of what's been called the toughest foot race on Earth. It's 7 days of torture, known as the Marathon des Sables, Marathon of the Sands.
Why did you enter this race? In solitude, probably.
You've heard of the middle of nowhere? Well, this is it. A group of tents set up on a dusty, ancient landscape that seems unchanged by time.
Yeah. You're running?
And unimpressed by expensive running gear. To finish the roughly 150-mile race, we will have to adapt to the desert.
The end of the turban here.
Runners from more than 20 countries have come here to North Africa, to Morocco, skipping the exotic Casablanca and Tangier, bypassing Marrakesh to go southeast over the Atlas Mountains to a desolate stretch of the Sahara Desert.
Hey, Cedric.
What the hell are you doing with all that stuff?
Well, I wasn't sure exactly what to bring, so I brought everything.
Do you have a bottle of scotch in here, buddy?
I need a partner for advice and moral support. 63-year-old Cedric Grant finished dead last 2 years ago and failed to finish last year. He sounded like the perfect teammate, one a novice like myself could keep up with.
And that's the sleeping bag?
That's just my backpack.
I know, but is that your sleeping bag?
Yeah, there's a sleeping bag.
You're gonna freeze to death.
According to the rules, you have to carry everything you need to survive in your backpack the whole way. Some survive on less than others.
And other stuff like this, I've just weeded out absolutely everything essential.
2 pair of socks, 1 t-shirt, 1 running shirt.
My running shorts, I took the labels out.
Threw my book out, threw my toothpaste, threw my toothbrush.
My toothbrush is 1.25 inches long because I cut sawed the handle off.
Got it down to 6.5 kilos.
You know, everyone's going to have big headlamps. That's my flashlight right there.
Well, you'll be stumbling in the dark.
Later, yeah, well, no, I'll be following you.
Here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right from the start, a group of world-class athletes shoots out in front at almost a sprint. The rest of us in the lumbering herd are trying to pace ourselves. After all, this is a stage race, a different distance and terrain for each of the next 7 days, for a total of almost 150 miles. That leaves us plenty of time to wonder, what have we gotten ourselves into?
2 miles.
I first read about it in FHM magazine. It was under the 20 stupidest sports in the world, and I just thought, well, it sounded absolutely mental.
I think it's a great vacation. You've got the sun, you've got the sand, you can eat all you want and not gain a thing. You firm up your thighs, you get a tan, and it's just an oasis of men. It's wonderful.
Wonderful? The first day alone, our supposed warm-up leg is 18 miles, farther than I've ever run in my life.
I think I gotta walk a little bit.
Although I'm competing, I'm primarily here as a journalist, carrying a camera and trying to find out why everyone else is doing this, especially those like Cedric who do it more than once.
I think anybody who's ever run a marathon is wondering why they're doing it out there. It's always, I guess it's striving to see how much you can take, how much you can carry, how much pain you can bear. You're stressing your body, but your mind is free.
See you later.
A nice theory, but my mind can't get free of what's happening to my body and ignore the dust and the sweltering heat.
You done this race before?
No. I'm not doing it again either. Please.
Yeah. How are the sandals working?
These sandals are great.
Better than the sneakers were?
Yeah, sneakers no good because the feet swell.
Yeah.
My first time doing this thing.
Myself, I'm surprised at how good I'm feeling the first day, even though I'll wind up spending 6.5 hours in the blistering sun. That's 5 hours longer than it will take the leaders. But eventually, the miles take their toll, and the mandatory checkpoints become increasingly important. Here, runners get part of their daily ration of water. And here, medics treat problems common to extreme marathons, like blisters and dehydration. They also can remove anyone they determine to be unfit to continue. The leaders hardly break stride through these checkpoints. Among that elite pack is Mary Gaddams, head of the U.S. contingent, who finished second among the women 3 years ago. Mary describes day one as easy, saying the real test will be the 50-miler on day 4. 50 miles? I'm just trying to get through what Mary called the easy part and figure out, why don't the leaders get blisters? Or are they impervious to pain?
It gives me chills to see those guys go by. It's just it's amazing, you know. I just love watching them. I mean, they just fly.
But to me, the most amazing race is being run by Chris Moon, an Englishman doing this marathon on a prosthetic leg. Only 2 years ago, Chris was injured while clearing landmines as a volunteer in Mozambique.
What do I get my
Chris, give us a pack.
No, I'm fine now.
No, I'll get you.
I don't have to go in a far. You beat me, you bastard.
He's undertaken this challenge to raise money for a Red Cross prosthetic program in Vietnam.
When I heard this was the toughest foot race on earth, I was very keen to have a go, having only one. I thought that would be the right thing to do. But it'd be interesting to see just exactly how far it is possible to go. Because when I originally spoke to them about doing this event, the doctor and prosthetist said it was completely impossible to do it on a false leg. So I'm hoping to prove them wrong.
One conversation with Chris, and I believe he'll make it. In camp each evening, I find equal parts camaraderie and fatigue.
C'est très bon.
Even out here, the French uphold the art of cooking. And me? Well, with dehydrated food, my standards aren't that high.
I could start my own chain. Boyd's Chicken Fajitas. Moroccan style. Boy, that's good.
Day 3, and the fun factor's about to take a serious dip.
I'm feeling totally apprehensive, scared, having done it before, twice. You go 3 steps up and 2 steps back, crawling up, sands in your shoes, piling in. And this heat?
They warned us about Dune Day, 15 miles up, down, and over a sea of sand. This is where the race gets serious. A 120-degree heat. I've heard that during this stage 3 years ago, an Italian Olympic runner got lost in a sandstorm. He was found 9 days later, 186 miles away, some 40 pounds lighter, roaming the desert with a group of nomads. The camel sweepers follow the pack each day to rescue anyone who might collapse. Their ominous presence on our heels confirms Cedric and I are barely slogging along. We're lost in our own thoughts.
It's getting steep and deep.
Climbing up those hills with the pack and then getting to the top and seeing another 20 kilometers of sand dunes, knowing that it was going to get worse.
I'm sure I've seen this movie. I should be crawling on my hands and knees begging for water.
With this, the backpack, each step makes me realize how much I should have cut down. And there was all of a sudden that kind of real panic. The blisters were getting deeper, the heat.
Sand is hot, the air is hot. I'm hot. How you doing? Not good, huh?
Wherever we go, we're never far from scenes of trouble. Racers are struggling, suffering from dehydration, heat stroke, maybe worse. It's hard not to wonder if we'll be next.
If you want. So he's not well enough to continue?
Yes. Finish.
Finish. Number 7, out.
Out.
The casualties are mounting. At camp this evening, the line outside the medical tent is growing longer.
I ran into trouble in the first control and ended up with a 2-hour penalty and 2 liters of fluid put into me there, so I decided to try the last bit. And so these nice people are putting some more fluid into me again.
Aïe, 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 aïe. Aïe, aïe, aïe.
Pull the skin right off, huh?
Most of us survive the dunes, barely. But I'm wondering if tomorrow, on these feet, I can run the longest stretch of the race, 50 miles. Day 4, the beginning of the 50-mile stage Mary had warned me about, and right away, an omen.
My God. We don't look like that at the end of the day. What a mess. Well,
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, they put rocks on the course.
This is really great on the blisters.
As if yesterday wasn't enough, we're soon climbing over more dunes. I catch up with Mary Gaddams, the American team leader who's no longer one of the front runners. She's having trouble keeping food and water down. I give her one of my trekking poles to use as she struggles up the hills. Mary's also slipping into a depression, knowing there'll be no top 10 finish this year.
We keep going for some reason, Mary. Why?
I need to see a psychiatrist.
With each painful step, Mary questions what 5 straight years of running the Marathon des Sables has done to her body. She wonders if she's reached her breaking point. At the next checkpoint, even a half-hour's rest doesn't pick up her spirits, and she comes face to face with a competitor's toughest question. Should I continue?
What do you think?
I'm calling it quits.
Calling it quits?
Mary's decision upsets Cedric.
I've got nothing to prove, having done it for the last 4 years.
I just felt so sorry for her. I just couldn't believe it when she dropped out. It was tough. It was tough leaving her, really tough leaving her. Someone who's been such a inspiration to all of us.
It's a harsh reality of this marathon, a top athlete being unable to finish. We stay with Mary a little longer, and then Cedric and I head on. But it's not getting any easier, particularly for him.
It hurt, really hurt. Every step being in sheer agony, like walking on glass and pouring salt water on the wounds. just hadn't done enough. And that's what hurt the most. Just hadn't trained enough.
It's hard for me seeing Cedric drop out. I've now lost 2 of my running partners, and I'm not feeling too good myself. I've got blisters on my blisters. 8 of my 10 toenails are dead and will soon come off. I've decided the literal translation of Marathon des Sables is Festival of Blisters. I'm concerned what long-term damage I'm doing to my feet. But something is driving me to continue.
Good luck.
Hey, thanks for going with me.
It's
Guiding
been a
me this
pleasure.
far.
Hey, going with you. I've been following you the whole way.
I'm only halfway through the 50-mile stage. Too far to go alone. So I hook up with Peter, another member of the American contingent. But Peter's already had 2 liters of IV to combat dehydration. So we have to slow our pace as we head into a long night.
Stars and the comet and the moon.
But while we stumble on through the dark, the leaders are relaxing, having already finished their 50 miles. And slowly, other runners come staggering in.
Hardest part, that first hour. It was on, my feet were not warmed up, and it was on rocks, and I had tears coming down. Like, I was not crying, but it was so, my feet were so painful that I was like, I didn't even know. It's like, oh my God, should I quit?
I never knew that the desert could be so grueling. This is the worst day of my life.
Here we are. Just before daylight.
Meanwhile, when the sun comes up, Peter and I are nowhere near the camp. Early morning, we've been going most of the night. We got about an hour's sleep at one checkpoint. We got an hour and a half back at this last checkpoint, and up at 4:30, and we've headed out again. How are you feeling without any sleep?
Pretty darn tired.
We're not sure where we're going at this point. I'm starting to believe the Marathon des Sables is 2 different races. One for the elite runners who finish quickly each day. For them, at this stage, the reward is a whole day off to sleep and cool their feet. But I'm convinced the tougher race is for those like me, who are out here slowly pounding their way across the desert. Night of the living dead. The zombies march. Finally, after nearly 30 hours, I come to the end of stage 4 and drag myself to the medical tent.
This is something that you see in movies in the torture chamber when they want you to talk. They do things like this to you.
We walking wounded have developed a kind of gallows humor. I've taken to calling my doctor the Marquis de Swab. After 50 grueling miles, what's his medical verdict?
He says I can continue. Do you believe it?
What have you got there?
I don't know. It's mutated.
With 2 days and some 40 miles to go, I now pair up with Jan, an experienced marathon runner with a clearly indestructible stomach.
Gourmet stuff. And like you said before, what's bothering me is you already ran 2 runners off the course. So this might be a little dangerous for me here.
I'll get him. Just watch and see.
After seeing my blisters yesterday, many doubted I'd even be able to start today's 26-mile marathon.
You're looking good, boy.
But an intense competitive desire takes over.
It's hard to believe. Only last night the doctor said he'd never walk again. And here he is, running. It's sick, Jan.
I can understand now why the two other guys quit. Good on you. You're a ball buster.
On through the next day, I keep running, even faster than at any other point in the race.
Doing okay, Jan? Hard. I've got Jan carrying my sticks while I videotape this. That's what you need, a valet running with you.
The change in terrain tells us the finish line is near. The end of a 7-day, roughly 150-mile battle with the sun and the sand. Every racer is now running on pure adrenaline. The leaders are clipping along at an unbelievable 6 to 7 minutes a mile. First across the finish is a Moroccan runner, a native son, who pushed ahead of his other world-class competitors and beat the Russian champion who had won the last 3 years. What made us all do this? Well, for me, I knew you didn't have to be a super athlete.
Almost home.
This race is all about your own resolve, about determination, or maybe it's stubbornness, and of course a high tolerance for pain.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. How do you feel?
Like $1 million,
I am one whip puppy. Thank you. Jan got me today. Beautiful work of sportsmanship out there today.
Chris Moon not only completes the race, but he succeeds in proving his doctors wrong.
I know why they call it the toughest foot race on earth. You're very brave. I must smell really bad.
It took me 7 days and some 150 miles to figure it out.
It can't be big enough for what we've been through.
You might start out this race to find out about yourself, maybe to test your limits. But in crossing the finish line, each runner proves one thing, that regardless of where you place in the world's toughest foot race, here, finishing is winning.